Got a lot of time. Don't wanna let it slide. About to get and see it like such a nice sooner. Check it out the stars. Tell me
Well, I tried. Hey besties, welcome in. I'm Sabrina, for those of you who don't know me yet, and this is Sabrina Reads and Roams, and I'm just going to start us off strong with a little bit of a disclaimer. So this is a book haul, which you have no doubt figured out by looking at the title of this video. And the last time I did a book haul, I left you guys with a little message that I would not be back with a book haul until probably like September. Let me just lay out my excuses really quickly before we get into this, okay? So excuse number one, it was my birthday month. Some of these books were a gift. Actually, a lot of these books were a gift. Excuse number two is your girl has been stressed, okay? I've been stressed about just like life things, more so than normal. And what do I do when I'm stressed? I shop. So 2025 was supposed to be about not doing that. However, the one thing on the list that I'm still allowed to buy in 2025 are books. So I bought a lot of books. I don't actually regret that. I'm cringing because I know how the internet is, and I know somebody's going to come for me and talk about overconsumption, etc., etc. Listen, I'm going to read all of these books, and I don't care what you say. I do care what you say, but you know what I mean. Like they're books, and this is where I find my joy, and it's also how I de-stress, and books are very evergreen. So like, it's not like I bought like pumpkin spice lattes and just line them up on my counter and they're gonna go bad. Like, no, these are gonna be with me. And so those are my excuses and my reasons. And without further ado, let's just look at what I got. Because there's a lot and we need to go over it quickly. You might need a drink. I've got a drink because this might be a thirsty time. There's a lot of talking that's about to go on. So just get cozy and let's go over it. And the reason I'm going over this is twofold. One is because I want to have a record of this when I tell myself not to buy another book like next month. But two, because I want to know if you've read any of these books, if any of these are like your favorite books, please let me know, because I mean, what to read first, I have no idea. That is kind of the goal of this video. Where should we start? I kind of laid the books out by genre as far as I know their genre. All of these books, I can't remember exactly what it was about the book that made me want to read it. And I'll also say that I don't always need to know the full plot of a book to want to read it. Like, you can hook me in with just a couple of lines and I'm gonna read your girl. So let's start with right here behind me. I have a couple of Blind Date with a Book books. So I love to get these from independent bookstores. I think this one I talked about on another vlog. Arabian Nights inspired fantasy with morally gray gin. Rip-roaring adventure, sand, so much sand. That drew me in. I was like, sign me up for that. And then these three I got from another indie bookstore in Lexington, Virginia called Downtown Books. And it is a trio of books that will last you the summer season. So there's a June, July, and an August read here for you. Now, am I behind on reading these? Yes. Do I necessarily need to read them during the season? No, I'm okay with reading them whenever. So those are the Blind Date with a Book books that I have collected over the last, it's been, let me see, it's been 2 months. Okay, so this is a collection of 2 months worth of book buying and gift book receiving, if that makes sense. Okay, I think I'm gonna go behind me here and we're gonna talk about my like general fiction books. You're not about to find nonfiction books in this collection because I don't want to read nonfiction. My life is nonfiction, so that's enough for me. I think that this pile right here is like either mystery, thriller, or horror, as far as I can tell. Oh, that one feels nice and buttery soft. I love the feel of this cover. So this is A Very Bad Day. This is like a corporate, I'm not gonna tell you what all these are about, but this one I actually really was intrigued by. This is like a corporate retreat gone wrong. Like, there's like murder that happens at the corporate retreat, and I'm like, my goodness. So that's that one. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I've been wanting to read Grady Hendrix, and this one sounds interesting, but I also think that this is one that my husband picked out. I let him, during my birthday haul, I let him pick out 2 books himself. I think this is one of the ones that he picked out, so good. Also Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. The Resort. I think it's like a mystery thriller on an island. An island resort. That makes sense. It was giving very Hawaii vibes, so I love it. S.A. Cosby, All the Sinners Bleed. This one came from, I can't think of the name of the company. They sell like discounted books. They just had their $5.99 sale, $5.99 fiction sale. I don't know. Anyway, it came from there. So I bought this book for like $4 that night in the library. Listen, I love any book that has to do with reading, books, libraries. Sign me up. So this sounded interesting. It's a little bit of a mystery thriller, and I've been trying to branch out because fantasy, which is that stack right there, is my favorite genre, and I've been trying to branch out from that as I'm buying books to just kind of make myself a little more diverse. Got Such a Good Wife. I don't know. I'm such a good wife, so I thought, why not? I think that's a domestic thriller. It starts with a lie. It'll end with a nightmare. Yikes. And then I got The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and when I saw it with a bright green, it was just really giving like, you should read this in October vibes. So I picked it up. I didn't know the font was this big in here. Okay, anyway, yes. So that is the pile that I think is mystery thriller in the general fiction section. Oh, we're about to tumble over a stack of books right here. I should have thought this through a little bit better. How am I supposed to get these up here? Let's just keep going with general fiction. So we have Anxious People, Frederick Bachman, you know, classics. Black Candle Women. I got this one in New Orleans for my birthday, and I actually picked it up as a local read. I didn't realize that this took place in Louisiana, but it was on my TBR, so that felt very fitting. Along the same lanes, I got this one, Empire of Sin, a story of sex, jazz, murder, and the battle for modern New Orleans. Sounds great. Sailing the Byzantium, also a New Orleans local book. And then these 2 I got out of a little free library while I was in New Orleans. So this is an arc of I Hear You're Rich, and then Tilt, which is a cute short little novel. And so I'm excited about that. So those were free. So those 2 were free. Don't count those against me. I also picked up The River Knows Your Name, The Blueprint. Yeah, that's it for that. That's it for general fiction on my birthday trip. And then I think I got The Deepest Lake as like a buy one, get one free or something like that. And so this was the free book, but I was interested in buying it before the cashier told me I could get it for free that day. And so when they were like, you can have it free, I was like, yes, I sure will. Kristen Hanna's The Magic Hour. After I read The Women, I was like, I need more Kristen Hanna. Sign me up for that. The Circus Train. This also came from, oh my God, I'm gonna die. What is the name of that? Books. How embarrassing. I'll put it on the screen, the website that I'm talking about. It's like, I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, I got that from there, The Circus Train. I really do wish that I'd gotten one with there's a different cover that I liked better, but the story's the story. It doesn't matter about the cover, right? Taylor Jenkins Reid, Forever Interrupted came from the same place, the same order. You can tell most of them because they have like a little dot on the thing. The Last Carolina Girl, all 4s. I read the synopsis of this and it reminded me, it's about a woman who has children, and I think she kind of just like walks away from her family for a weekend or something. That's not really my life, but it kind of reminded me of people that I know in my life, and like, I don't know, I felt like it could make me relate to them. So I'm really excited about reading that. I picked up Wayward because I feel like that's one of the ones that everybody talks about and I really want to hear it. I really want to read it. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This was a birthday present from my sister. I believe that she said that this is her favorite Kristen Hanna, and it is the book that she likes to gift to people she knows are readers. So I am super thrilled to have this one, and I'll probably read this one before I read the other Kristen Hanna, the one that I purchased myself. I very much, if you want to buy me books, I very much appreciate that. Like, not you guys, but you know what I mean, like people in my life. I love books. If you want to buy me books, if you want to get me a gift card to a bookstore, you can ask me for my local bookstores, or if you're not sure, you just want to go with Barnes & Noble, I'm down for that too. Like, I will never say no to a book, and I'll read pretty much anything except for nonfiction, so you're pretty safe, but there's a chance that I already have it. So anyway, Lessons in Chemistry. That feels like one of the ones that like everybody's read and you need to read it just so you can be like part of real life. Margot's Got Money Troubles. My friend Courtney suggested this book to me. She said that it was a phenomenal read, so we gonna find out. It's All Relative. At some point I was going through like a I need to have summer books phase. I don't really know what that's about, because we're in summer, we're like in there, like swimwear, and I haven't read any of the summer books yet. You know what I should probably do is I should make a video that's just like only reading summer books, just because like girl, you were in the mood for it at some point, why not do it? Why not carry it out? I don't know. They Both Die at the End. Every time I see this, I'm like, I really, really, really want to read that. And then like the rest of them as well. And then I have the Beartown trilogy. So Beartown, Us Against You, and The Winners. I actually was looking for this set for the longest time and could not find either the full set or the matching set anywhere. And so I finally found it one day at a Barnes somewhere far, far away. And I came to realize that my Barnes & Nobles are just really not well stocked. And I looked for it at a bunch of different indie stores as well, and nobody ever had it until very recently. I just found the whole set at a specific Barnes, so I got them all. Now I have them all and I can dig into them. However, they're feeling very winter-ish, probably because of the snow on the cover, and it's about ice hockey, I believe. So that's probably not going to happen soon, but that's okay. Remember I told you I got all these summer books. So anyway, you know I had to pick up my girl V.E. Schwab, Bare Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm actually in the middle of reading this right now. However, I'm reading the Libby copy of it because I'm not the biggest fan of hardcovers. I'm trying to make myself like hardcover books or tolerate hardcover books, because what happens is a lot of times when I'm in a book club, they want to read new books and they're only available in hardcover, and I want to annotate for book club so that I look smart. So I have to read hardcover books. Now, saying all of that, this bad boy is like a billion pages long, like 530 pages, maybe 533 pages. I'm not about to hold 533 pages in my hand. Okay, look, I don't even know how to do this. So long story short, I'm reading the Livy copy of this. So this I have, but I had to get it because, you know, she signed every single copy of the first run. And so that is like truly special to me. Now, speaking of book club and needing to read new release books, and so I have the hardcover, there's Wild Dark Shore. That is for the work book club, which I'm basically like the administrator of, and so this is our next read, and so I went ahead and picked that up like 2 days ago so that I could read and annotate that. And then I have a book club that I created called Tacos, Tequila, and Tomes, and we are reading The Names. I'm the head of both of those book clubs, so I feel like I need to know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the books, okay? So we have hardcovers in those, that's what it is. So that's general fiction. Let's talk about romance. We'll whip through those, and then I'm gonna show you what I already read out of what I purchased. I have 2 stacks of romance books. We can actually start with this one, the hardcover that I have in romance. This is called The Secret Romantics Book of Magic. These are short stories. Now, I don't love a short story, but Olivia Blake has written one of the short stories in here, and I happened to be at the store like the day they were putting these out, and it was like 2 or 3 days before release day, and the guy was shelving them, like he had his box out there or whatever, and I was like, what is that? And I picked it up, and he was like, oh, actually I'm not supposed to put these out yet. And I was like, but can I have it anyway? And he said, yeah. So now I have it. Listen, I'm going to 12 spellbinding romantasy stories. So they're short stories. I have a favorite author in there, a favorite person in there, and I'm gonna give short stories one more try, okay? So that's the story, that is the story behind this. Now, for my paperback loves, I've got a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I really enjoyed The 7-Year Slip, so I'm trying to get into her. Or I'm into her. I'm not trying. I'm into her. I'm just getting more into her. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. That was these are birthday buys. Those two. You Could Do Damage by Casey Mills. And then One Summer in Miami. These three were birthday trip buys. So, you know, don't come at me for how many books I have. I know it's a lot. Give me a break, okay? I've also got First Time Caller. Older, I think I'm actually super into, like, kind of like taboo, but like not like real taboo, not like child, but like, you know, super age gappy, like, you're my best friend's dad. Like, no, I think I'm actually super into that. Okay, so I've got older. I've got Binding 13, the super cute edition, which I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not like a super cutesy book, right? Like it's got some real shit in it, right? I think my boss is the one who told me that this was such an incredible read. And I was like, I'll bite. She generally has really good taste. Like anything she's ever recommended to me, I have come away from at least at 3.5 stars, but usually like 4.5 stars. So I trust her taste in books, and I mean, she recommended this one, so I got it. Haven't started it yet. Heard there's some drama going on with the latest release in that series, but I'm not there yet, so it's okay. Plus Size Player, and this is actually your autographed copy, because I went to go see your girl in Conversation with Kennedy Ryan, so that is that. And then I got Just Our Luck by Denise Williams. I will be honest with you, I picked this book up because it has a black girl and a white guy on the cover, and that is very specifically the kind of romance that I have in my personal life, so I thought I would love to read that in a romance book. And so I'm hoping that in the book that is like represented and it's not just a cover gimmick, but that's why I picked this up. But I think I researched her, and I think that she does write, if not all, but frequently she does write interracial relationships. So yes, anyway, that is that. That's the reason behind that. Daisy Hates. I've also got Magnolia Park somewhere. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. This is another one that came from the discount book place. God, I should know what it's called. The Spare, The Heir, and there's a third one of that that's coming out soon, so I'll probably end up picking that up whenever it comes to paperback. Also discount books. Problematic Summer Romance. Told you at some point I was in the mood for summer reads. Just for the summer, right? You're understanding that? Out of the Woods. Listen to me. Hannah Bonham Young. Listen, I looked for this book for a very long time and I could not find it. And do you want to know where I found it? I'll tell you where it wasn't. It wasn't in the Y author section for Young. It was in the B for Bonham, because Bonham Young. Now, you might be saying, oh, Sabrina, that's okay. Sometimes it's tricky when people have hyphenated last names. Sabrina has a hyphenated last name, so this should have been a little more evident to her that we should be looking in the B's and not the Y's, but it's not. So that's how embarrassing I am. Anyway, worth fighting for. I believe the author is an Indigenous author. That may be this book, that may not be this book, but I think, if I'm remembering correctly, this looked like a cute story and the author was an Indigenous author, and that's what made me pick it up. Okay, maybe not Indigenous. I think she's actually Indonesian, but it was something along, okay, let's just go with author of color. Let's go with that, okay? It was something along those lines. Speaking of Bonham Young, we also got Out on a Limb. I do enjoy that she's got kind of like some diverse representation and some disability representation going on in her book. Okay, told you, Magnolia Parks. This book, Katie O'Neill, is called Love and Other Alien Concepts. This I actually won in a giveaway, and she is one of the authors who was impacted by the Million Lives Book Festival. If you do not know what I'm talking about, honey, go Google that. It's a mess. And anyway, she was one of the authors who was there, who obviously did not really sell any books. And so a kind person from Instagram purchased a lot of books and was giving them away. And so this was one of 2 that I won in that giveaway. Till Summer Do Us Part. I'm going to be honest, I love the dark version of this that's available at Barnes & Noble. However, I pre-ordered this from a specific place and it comes with naughty artwork in the inside, okay? Another Ashley Poston. This one sounds like love. I think, is this the one that just came out? Emily Henry's Happy Place. I feel like I should read a little Emily Henry. 1,000 Distant Shores. And once again, your girl didn't realize that this is a book 2. There's no indication that this is a book 2. And I don't know if I have to read book 1 first, but I'm gonna have to buy book 1 so I can read it, okay? All right. Slow Burn Summer. Again, she was in her summer era. And then Keeping 13, the one that just came out in the pretty color cover. So those are the romance books. Let me move us on to some books that I've already read from the purchased books in the last 2 months. Okay, where did I say we were gonna pick up? Full disclosure, I had to change the camera battery. So, oh, I think I was gonna show you books that I've already read from what was purchased. So this is the short stack. The first one is Murder Your Employers. This is McMaster's Guide to Homicide. I read this on my Kindle as a Libby checkout, and I love this book. In fact, I remember my boss asking me one week, "What are you reading?" And I was like, "I can't tell you." But I thought this was so good. And I just remembered the place where I bought a lot of these books, the ones, especially the ones that have the black dots on them, is Book Outlet. Hello? Like, how could I not remember that earlier? But anyway, so this one came from Book Outlet because I've already read it and I just wanted to have a copy of it on my shelf trophy. And the same goes for Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I love this book. I thought it was beautiful and glorious, and I just couldn't bring myself to buy a shelf trophy. But then Book Outlet had it for like $4. So I was like, I'll pay $4 for that. So yeah, so those I've already read. I read those prior to ever purchasing them. I also read This Could Be Us prior to purchasing it. I bought it because I needed Kennedy to sign it so that I could have a complete signed set of the Skyland series, which I now do. In that vein, I also got Can't Get Enough, which I got signed. You can see the post-it note is how they do the signings at the bookstores. Usually they write your name on there so she doesn't have to ask, and how do you spell that? Anyway, she signed it somewhere in here. So this was a signed copy. Can't Get Enough. Love, love, love. The Unmaking of June Farrow. I read this for a book club, work book club. And so love that. You can see it's tabbed. So I purchased that I've already read. And then I've already read Curvy Girl Summer. Danielle and Kennedy were in conversation at Quail Ridge Books, and I went to that, and it was a freaking time, okay? I had a time in my life. So this is also a signed copy. And then The River Has Roots. I read that this month, actually. So it'll be on my June what I read. Short one, but a good one. I was into this, and I would actually reread it. So those are the books that I've already read out of what's been purchased here. Should we do fantasy? Fantasy sci-fi? She's a lot. There's a lot going on back here. Let's do that, okay? I'm just gonna move over because I'm in her way. There, how's that? You can see she's a lot. Let's start with the sci-fi pile because it's a little bit smaller than the fantasy pile. And again, these are where I think these books, like these are the genres I think these books belong into. I don't fully 100% know. Okay, so the third rule of time travel. Now, technically, this book is not attributed to me purchasing it. My husband purchased it. However, it was on my TBR, and it's a book that I would have purchased eventually. So he read it, or I think he DNF'd it, actually. Oh yeah, he DNF'd this, but I plan on reading it, even though he DNF'd it. So I've got that. Empire of Silence. I did listen to the audiobook because my camera just called this an infant. I don't really know what that means. I did listen to this on audiobook because it was free in the Audible Plus catalog. And I'm still on my yearly membership that I was given back at Christmas time. So I did listen to it that way. However, I plan on rereading it because sometimes with this sci-fi book, like I feel like I pick up bits and pieces when I read it versus when I did in the audiobook. And like nothing groundbreaking, nothing that would like change the story for me, but just little bits and pieces, especially since it is a very long series and I want to go into the series. So I don't want to miss any like little bits and bobs that I that like would be like Easter eggs later down the road or something like that. And so anyway, I also now have Howling Dark. That's book number 2. So I'm going to be reading that one very soon because I loved this. This Is How You Lose a Time War also came from Book Outlet because, girl, people are charging like $25 for this book. And I'm like, for what? There's 2 pages in here. What's the money for? And so I got it from Book Outlet for hella cheap. And then I also picked up Dune, like the first part of Dune, because I don't know if it's just me, but I don't have any idea what's happening in the movie Dune. In the movies Dune. I don't get it. And I'm thinking maybe if I read the book, it'll make more sense to me. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm going with. So that's that. And then I also have Slewfoot. I don't really know where to categorize this, but it's about witchery. So I decided that it was fantasy. I don't really know, but I've heard so many good things about this book, including that like the pictures in here, which are drawn by the author himself, are like really good. It's an oddly shaped book. It's bewitching. I'm ready for it. Okay, so that's the bottom line with Slewfoot. Now our best friend over here, fantasy. Can you tell that fantasy is my favorite genre? Let's just hope that these don't topple over and let's get into it. I got Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo because I have somewhere up there, I have both Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows. And this, I just liked the weight of this one and the feel of the cover of this version. So I picked it up. I'm going to read that series, the whole Grishaverse, very soon. I feel like I'm like off camera or something. I don't really know what's going on here. We're here for the books, right? Not for me? Okay. So I also got A Tempest of Tea, So Let Them Burn, The Outcast Mage, and real talk, the cover draws me in, the sprayed edges keep me, and then if I read the synopsis and I'm like even mildly into it, I'm like, yeah, get in my cart. Evocation, Exquisite Ruin, this is one of the ones. Drawn in, caught me, yes, in the cart. Ordinary Monsters, also, the cover pulled me in. This is, I mean, judge a book by its cover, girl. No sprayed edges, but when I read the synopsis, in the cart. A Whisper in the Walls, I read the first book. What's it called? Something, I'll put it right here. I don't know what it's called. I read the first book, Love. I need to buy the first book, but we're cooling it on that for the moment. I read the first book on Kindle because it was on Kindle Unlimited. And then The Last Hour Between Worlds. I don't know. This sounds fantastic. And it's part of a series. It says it's number 1. I don't know where number 2 is at or when it's coming, but the synopsis of this sounded great, so I bought it. This Wicked Fate, I have book 1 of this Poison Heart or something like that, and I was supposed to read it this month. Haven't gotten to it yet. Probably will not because it's like the 28th today. Voyage of the Damned. The Spell Shop. Everybody knows about the Spell Shop, right? Everybody's talking about it. I want to read it. A Strange and Stubborn Endurance. I think that I saw this and I was like, oh, what's that about? And I think that I just fell in love with the synopsis of this. So I was like, yep, get in the cart. One Dark Window. I gotta read it. Everybody's read it. I gotta read it next. The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. I was so on the fence about this, and one of the booksellers at Barnes & Noble was like, this was the most incredible read. You have to read it. So now I'm going to. You see how easy it is to sell me on things. A Harvest of Hearts. The North Wind. Curious Tides. I'm so into what this series is selling me, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out in paperback. An Education in Malice. The Carnival of Curiosities. Spark of the Everflame and Glow of the Everflame in paperback. A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians, because I bought book 2 of this without knowing it was book 2, and then Dum Me was like, wait a minute, this is book 2. I can't read this. I need to find book 1. So now I have it. Skin of the Sea. A Touch of Clandestiny. This is the other Katie O'Neill that I won in that giveaway on Instagram after the a million book lives. Yeah, that one. The Will of the Many. I feel like I have to get into James Islington, and this felt like a good place to start since it's finally out in paperback. Gothicana. I've heard a lot of good things about that one. Cassandra Clare's The Sword Catcher. Really, it's because I want to read The Ragpicker King, but this one comes first. A Study in Drowning. A Far Better Thing, which is by H.G. Perry, which was that other one that I showed you that I was like, oh, it's book 2. I gotta get book 1. The King's Messenger. I've been eyeing this book for months and I finally bit the bullet and bought it. And then The City of Dusk by Tara Sims. Sometimes a book just sounds good, yo. Elantris, whatever you want to call it. A Crown So Silver. I already have book 1. Continuing our V.E. Schwab nonsense. Vicious Vengeful, the box set, the duet, whatever. That. I'm losing my words, okay? Blood at the Roots. We love a black magician person. Iron Flame. Your girl just finished Fourth Wing. Finally. And I got Iron Flame as well in the paperback. And then A Day of Fallen Night. Again, Samantha Shannon. I love buying Samantha Shannon from Book Outlet because let me tell you, her books are lengthy and pricey. And then I got Piper CJ's series, and this is including The Night in Its Moon, The Sun in Its Shade, The Gloom Between Stars, The Dawn in Its Light, and they're all signed. They're all autographed. Lastly, besties, listen, I did tell you that I do not like a hardcover, but I am trying to get myself into reading hardcovers for a couple of different reasons. Book club being the primary reason. The second reason is because they're so freaking pretty, and sometimes I don't want to wait for the paperback to come out a year or 2 years later in the case of James Islington. Anyway, so a decision was made. This stack exists for 2 reasons. 1, because they're also pretty. 2, because I want to make myself enjoy reading hardcover books, and I thought the best way to do that would be with some pretty ones. Now these are heavy, so I'm going to put them down really quick. We have Sword Heart, which I am like dying to read. This one's not that great of a sprayed edge, but you know, whatever. Dying to read that one. The Amalfi Curse. I have been in love with this book since the day that they announced it, and I have been wanting it and just like dreadful that it's a hardcover. So which better book to feed my let's get into hardcovers with than this one? So then I've got The Measure. Gold? Come on. And then the same author, The Poppy Fields. I mean, that one's not as fancy, but I wanted to read The Poppy Fields, and they had The Measure with the gold, and I love the synopsis of it, and it's an author that I'm already super interested in reading, so why not? Do you guys want to like watch me struggle through reading a hardcover and see if I end up liking it, or is that I don't know. But I also thought that these books were such like pretty copy like editions that I know someone for each of these books. I know someone personally who would like to read and / own them. So if I just cannot get into it, if I am just, this is not going to work for me, I know exactly who I'm going to give each of these books to as a gift, okay? And you know, book readers don't mind a hand-me-down gift, so it is what it is. Summer in the City. I got the, I think this is the Target version. Listen, she had lots of Target cash to spend, okay? So this one was technically free, but this is the Target edition of it. So Shield of Sparrows. I'm gonna be honest with you, this has a Target sticker on it, but I could have sworn I bought it somewhere else, but maybe this was part of my like spending my Target cash thing. So Shield of Sparrows, very pretty. This one, The Poppy War. It's freaking beautiful, and not just the outside, but like the artwork on the inside is also just kind of incredible. Like, look at that. I mean, who doesn't love? So I got The Poppy War. Have I read that yet? No. But did I also get the matching version of the Dragon Republic? Yes. Am I gonna get the third one to go with it? Most likely, yeah. Hopefully I don't hate it, but I read Babel and I was like, sign me up for more R.F. Kuang, so I can't imagine I'm not gonna like that. This is the other one, along with the Amalfi Curse, was The Sirens. I have been dying for this book since it came out. I mean, look at that, it's beautiful. And The Night and the Moth, the Barnes & Noble limited edition copy. How could you not? How could you not? So I'm gonna try to force myself to be in love with these hardcover books, and because they have sprayed edges, I think that I can get myself to enjoy them. I am very hopeful that that is the case. So, you know, I totaled this up, and surrounding me are 131 books. Now, in my defense, I only bought like 100 of them. Okay, so between my birthday gifts, the ones that I got technically for free, and then the ones that are actually my husband's but that I have claimed now that he's done with them, I only bought 100 of like the 131. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to say that I'm going to stop reading books, but what I'm going to do is cool it. I don't think I should be going to the bookstore as often as I'm going to the bookstore. I need to take my behind to the library. But even that's terrible. I have like 5 library books checked out right now. I would like to say that I'm going to buy... No, you know what? Not even like to say. Because here's the thing. I am going to buy less than 131 books for the rest of the year. That much I can promise you. The problem is everyone around me just encourages my behavior. I don't want to call it bad behavior. I'm buying books, you guys. It's a beautiful thing. I'm reading the books that I'm buying. I'm just buying them faster than I read them. So, because I keep picking up also library books in the meantime. So like I'm buying a bunch of books and then I'm reading a bunch of books, but some of the books that I'm reading are library books. So it's kind of a problem, but it's not a terrible problem. I am doing okay. My bills are all paid. And at the end of the day, this is my hobby and I'm having a good time and it makes me feel good. So I have lots and lots of options to read. I also got some TBR dice. You roll them and it tells you the genre to pick and then where to get it from, like your TBR pile, etc. So like maybe I can like roll the dice in a video and we'll just like, it'll tell me what to pick. I also think that I need to kind of like gather all of my summer-ish or summer vibe books together and just start reading through those. Like I'm just gonna pick like summer vibe books. I will say I have been kind of collecting over the last couple of months TBR jar prompts, and they're like funny things that I've come up with on my own. So like just out of my own brain, I'm trying not to like recycle some of the common TBR jar prompts that we see on everybody's videos, because I love those. I watch them all day, every day, but like I would just like to see something that's a little bit weird and wacko. So I'm trying to I've come up with probably like 30 of them so far. And so I might do a TBR jar, but they're gonna be like prompts that you've pretty much never heard of. I think my favorite one is the Wheel of Fortune prompt. You'll have to watch the video to find out exactly what that is, but I think it's hysterical and it may just be a funny joke for me, but whatever, we'll see. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but I just wanted to talk about the books that I got and talk about my plans for reading all the books that I got. And I'm saying like, yeah, I'm gonna buy more books. And that's okay. I don't have children. My bills are paid and I'm saving a healthy amount of money as well. So this is what I choose to do with my expendable income. Yeah, I'm defending myself a little bit so that the ones that want to make the comments about overconsumption can cool it a little bit. Yeah, that's the haul. Let me know if you saw any of your favorites here. Actually, let me know if there were any that you were like, that was the worst book I've ever read in my entire life. I would love to know that because I want to read it and see if I agree with you. Or like we could just argue in the comments. That would be fun. Like, you know, argue in a friendly way, not like a argue in a I don't like you kind of way. Maybe argue is not quite the word, but we can playfully disagree in the comments if that's the case. But yeah, so let me know what you thought about the haul. Let me know if you think that I'm going to end up liking or enjoying or being able to tolerate reading hardcover books. And yeah, that is it. So if you made it this far, thank you for tuning in and enjoying my little slice of stress relief. And I hope that you stick around, like, subscribe, comment, all those things. I'm not going to be doing too many haul videos. I still am standing by that part of it, but you know, this had to be done because I needed to clear the shelf off. I needed to kind of like reorganize the shelf, and there was no way to do that without actually sitting down and filming the haul video that I had planned on filming. So now that that is done, I will see you in the next video. Okay, who's gonna pick up these books?